Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We'll give people a few minutes just to get in the room. Hi again, everyone. We're just giving folks a few minutes just to get in the room so that way they can all hear the message. Okay, I think it's about time we got started. Anyone coming, they'll be able to see the recording. So I just want to welcome everyone for coming and listening to the discussion for the NJ Homes choice tool. We know your time is valuable, so this will not be a long discussion. So whether you're joining from the office, the home, or if you're out and about, we know that your involvement is very important and we appreciate you taking the time to listen in. So, quick introductions. My name is Keiana Dunn, and I'm the Assistant Director here at the Division of Housing and Community Resources Data Center within the Department of Community Affairs. At the data center, we operate under three pillars: data-driven decision-making analytics, digital transformation, and web development. And partnering with me are two colleagues who you'll also hear from later today is Lucas Doell, our data center web developer, Diane Riley, who is a manager of special projects. So just to give you the plan for the discussion, we'll walk through an overview of the tool, and this will cover the purpose and the features. We'll do a preview of the beta testing, and then Lucas will do a demonstration of the tool. We'll give you an opportunity to give some feedback, and Diane will discuss how to get involved. And so the NJ Homes Choice Tool helps municipalities understand their affordable housing obligation and bridges the gap between numbers and reality using sample development projects. And so, as a disclaimer, we ask that you consult with legal counsel as well as your planners to whenever you're building a housing plan. And so you want to think of the NJ Homes Choice Tool as just general information based on the A4 legislation, and it should not be used as legal advice. So just a quick note before we get started, if you have questions, I I'm not looking, but I'm looking, but I have my colleagues on that'll be able to, ask the questions. But go ahead and pop them in the chat. And then as we go along, they may get answered. And if not, we can circle back at the end. And so here's an overview of the tool. And so since DCA mission since part of DCA's mission is to strengthen and revitalize communities through affordable housing, the NJ Homes tool is perfectly aligned with this. It is designed to be consistent with state housing policy, giving municipalities a standardized work frame to work within rather than towns trying to reinvent this wheel on their own. The primary users of the tool will be local officials, planners, community developers, and it's to be a practical tool that will empower towns to plan, track, and achieve their fair share affordable housing obligation. And just to reiterate what I said a few moments ago, is that the tool is to facilitate compliance. So making it easier for towns to meet their obligation under the legislation. And so you want to think of this as sort of turning policy into a step-by-step actionable guide. Now, transparency is critical. And from a community standpoint, as well as including residents, everyone deserves to know what's being built and why. And so with this tool in real time, you'll be able to show them the gaps in the housing obligation, as well as it'll be visible for you to help build trust with the local government and developers and even and the public. And so it's, as you'll see when we get into this, it's very easy to use, and so it just makes when you're interacting with other people that aren't familiar with development, it's an easy bridge. It standardizes by standardizing data across municipalities. The tool ensures that every town is evaluated on the same measure, not subjective reports. And so what I mean by that is if we were to think about a recipe, and in order for everyone to have the same outcome, they have to use the same measuring tools. And so if someone is using a teaspoon versus cups, we're not going to get the same outcome. So it's the same way like this. So by standardizing the policy, it makes it clear, consistent, and fair for everyone. So the vision that we had with this is to make home building user friendly and easy. So just like Amazon makes shopping simple, the tool is designed so that users can quickly navigate the obligations, see the progress, and get the information they need without any fuss or confusion. And so that's the overview of the tool. And so now we'll get into the beta testing and how the tool performs. Lucas will, in a second, do a demonstration, and then you'll be able to observe how towns can view their housing obligations in a clear visual format. Users can look at a chart in the dashboards, kind of sort of what you see on the screen, and they'll be able to see what's required. So one of the best parts of the tool is that it allows towns to do what if scenarios. So like what if you were to have additional rental units or if you were wanted to expand your home ownership programs. It's planning that you can actually test, adjust, retest, adjust, make tweaks in real time. And so that's what makes it great. There are built-in examples of homeownership, apartment rentals, and special needs housing to give towns a practical understanding to draw in case they need to make adjustments or make other changes to fit their needs. Again, it's planning that you can test, refine, and tweak as you go along. Now, for this last point, we just want to acknowledge the phenomenal work of our colleagues at the DCA Data Hub because this team has made the division's data publicly available. And so we just want to kind of give them a shout out. And so the tool will incorporate actual Data Hub information to support real data driven planning. And so you'll see this as we get into the demo in just a second. So here's what the tool looks like. And so as Lucas is getting ready to take over, I just want to invite you all, if you scan the QR code or if you go to the link, can someone put the link in the chat, please? If you go to the link, you will be able to follow along during the demo session. And once you go to the link, you just enter in the password, fair share $123, and then you'll see exactly what Lucas will be demoing. And so I'm going to stop sharing. And okay, Lucas.
All right, thank you, Keiana, and good afternoon, everyone. So I'm here to show the NJ Homes beta tool here that we have been working on. And so allow me 1 minute to screen share this. I'm having a little technical issue. Just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So this here is our NJ Homes choice tool. Is everyone able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is the tool we've been working on to make affordable housing planning as easy as an Amazon shopping cart. So we can scroll down here, and so you'll get a little description of what the A4 legislation is requires. But as we keep going, we'll see here we have a municipality selector. So we can pick from our counties, and we are going to pick the demonstration county for today. And we can see the different municipalities within those counties. So for now, I'm going to pick our any town borough within our demonstration county. And so once you have picked a municipality, it will open our unit mix planner. And so here you can see your prospective need obligation and your progress towards meeting that. So we can see here we are not compliant because we have not hit our 120 credit obligation. So we have this fix issues button that you can click, which will automatically adjust it. So we're going to go ahead and give this a press. We'll get a little confetti because we've reached compliance, but you can see we are not fully compliant yet. So we have hit our total unit count, but we have not hit our distribution requirements. We can go ahead and click that one more time. And now this is going to give us a minimally compliant plan that we can use and play around with as a starting point. And so as you scroll down, you'll see our compliance requirements here will follow you as you go. But here's our step 1, which is your proposed unit mix. And so, for example, rental units need to be 25% of total units. If you were to increase this, you'll see your compliance will change as you go. So we will leave this as is. Step 2 is unit attributes. So this is where you can apply different attributes to your units. For example, you may have some age-restricted housing. We'll add a few of those. You may have some transit proximate units. We can add some of that as well. And so this is what you'll do to assign your units different attributes, and that will account towards your bonus credits. So for example, here with the very low income units, we can see as we add more of these, this is actually making a difference with our bonus credits. So as we add more, this percentage goes up. As we go down, we have our full and double bonuses. So these are some additional credits that we can have. So for example, we may have some special needs housing, and that will also increase our bonus credits. After we get to 25%, the bonus credits will no longer apply, as there is a cap of 25% of your total obligation. So anything above this cap will not count towards your credits. And then as we go down, we have additional half bonuses, which apply 0.5 credits for each unit instead of the typical one. So for example, nonprofit partnership or transit-oriented development. So you have a couple different options here as well. At the bottom here, we have some visualizations to show some of the values that you've entered. So here we can see our base units of 120, we can see our applied bonus credits, and we can see any bonus credits that aren't used. And then this breaks it down by type. So as we keep going, we get all these different nice charts to kind of help you visualize how you're meeting your obligations and you're hitting those numbers. So I'm going to keep going as we keep scrolling to the bottom. Here's our unit mix summary. We can see we've hit our obligation, it's fulfilled. And so this gives it another breakdown in another view. And we can see we have an overall status of compliant. So in addition to the unit mix planner, we also have a project planner. So as we scroll down, we can see here, we have different projects. And so these are sample projects that the DCA has curated. These are real projects, and we're able to see things like funding source or the target population. But the goal here is to allow municipalities to come and look at projects that they may want to build as well. So for example, this 2-unit, 2-story rental building. If I want to build this out, let's say I can hit add to portfolio, and we'll see that this turns green. Up here, we have our portfolio here as well. So we can click here and we can see that it'll open this little cart menu, and we can see we have our project that we selected. And I'll add 1 or 2 more just for the sake of demonstration. So we'll go ahead and add some of these, and then we'll come back up to our portfolio. So here in the portfolio, we can adjust quantities. We can make this 1, make this 2, and we'll make this 3, for example. We'll see how many units have been selected. We have the option to export, so we can download this as a comma-separated values file, or we're able to print it with a nice printout that we can use in our planning meetings. So this gives municipalities another way to plan out some of their affordable housing, and it's as simple as just adding it to your portfolio and using that as reference. So we have 44 projects selected from. You're able to filter these by different types, different target populations, and you're able to search by description, location, agency, or population. Now, as we get towards the bottom here, we also have a plain text municipal credit system guide here. So we have a link to the full A4 legislation, but we also have a description of how it works and everything that's available here as well. And so this just kind of breaks it down in simpler words. And so that is our tool. We also have a survey that will be available to take. Since I've already taken it, it will not show up on my screen. But as you navigate to the NJ Homes Choice tool, you'll be able to fill out that survey and give us some feedback and provide your thoughts. So that's it for now from me. So I'm going to hand it back to Keiana, and we will continue from there.
Thanks, Lucas. I think it's hard to imagine, home building, developing as being as easy as Amazon shopping, but it's I think it's when you see it, it kind of helps put it in perspective. And so we would love to hear from some of the veterans in the room, as far as their take on the tool. But getting back to the presentation, thanks again, Lucas. As many of you know that the governors conference is coming up, and that's next week on the 16th and 17th. And so DCA will have a booth where resources and folks there to kind of give you information about the NJ Homes tool. And so right now this is a perfect opportunity to bring Diane in, and so Diane can talk to us about the Launchpad kickoff and all the things that the municipalities are doing to participate in this training.
So I want to, before I get into it, I'm so happy to be here today. We do have a question. Does the tool use the revised numbers submitted by the municipalities in their fair share plan?
And so I was able to just answer this in the chat. It should use the correct
Great.
numbers that were provided. If you see any discrepancies, please reach out to me. My contact information will be available at the end of the presentation. But if you see any kind of errors that don't match what you're expecting, please let us know. We'll make sure that gets taken care of. But all numbers should be correct as of now.
Great. Good. Love the tool. I know you guys are going to enjoy actually playing with it. And we really want your feedbacks to make it better, but it is an incredible tool. So I'm happy to be here today. I want to just backtrack a minute and just say that the New Jersey Homes program encompasses three things. First of all, it stands for New Jersey Housing Opportunity for Municipal Equity and Success. I had to read it so I didn't stumble over my words, but it is for municipalities, and really to make them stronger and to help build their capacity, first and foremost, to build the affordable housing they need, and provide homes for people throughout the state. So that's great. And the tool is one piece of that. And that tool would be available to eventually to everyone, right? And not just the municipalities leadership, but to anyone who wants to use the tool. That's one great thing that's coming out of this. The other piece, there are two other pieces. One is funding, which everybody is interested in, right? The Launchpad funding. And that funding, we opened up a letter of interest to municipalities specifically, and we asked if they'd like to partake in the Launchpad funding, and it's in two pieces. One is to build up their capacity, to build up their staff and their capacity to help get this housing built over the next decade. And that would be $50,000 for 2 years. And then for those people who were accepted, to have them have an opportunity to apply for pre-development dollars, which, as we know, is always what people are looking for, right? That's the gap. That's one of the gaps we wanted to fill. So we sent out an LOI, and we received applicants, and we have accepted 10 municipalities into that first cohort. And I'll put them in the chat in a minute, but I see a few of them on today. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to meet them. And lastly, we're going to provide training, right? We're going to provide training to help, again, that staff in the municipality build up their capacity and their understanding on how to get this done. So we're going to start at the Governor's Conference, and that's the kickoff of the training. It will be for those 10 municipalities and their staff, and there'll be 12 modules until it will go to the end of October. And those modules will cover a variety of interests and understanding, and be taught by outside experts and, importantly, internal experts, because this department has a tremendous amount of expertise available, and we want you to meet them, and we want them to share their expertise with you, and to build up, again, a coalition amongst each other and a closer relationship to the department. So we have modules at the beginning, from just 101 affordable housing to specifically accessory dwelling units, to look at the development plans, to look at how you look at a development project and understand whether it's a feasible project. Where is the funding coming from? What are the funding streams you can use to develop these projects? And also, importantly, what can a municipality do to help move those projects along? What are the tools they have available? Zoning, pilots, streamlining applications, incentives. We're going to look at all of that over the course of our training. So we're very excited to provide these 12 modules. It's going to be a mix of in-person training and webinars, as well as videos we're going to send out that they can look at and at their own pace and at their leisure. And also make some of those videos available to other people on their staff that aren't in the complete training session. And finally, we're going to have office hours on Fridays. So those office hours are not mandatory, but we hope those municipalities will join to ask very specific questions of very specific participants and trainers, and just join us to share some challenges they have, and so we can bring the right people in to help them really learn. So we're really excited that this is the first iteration, the first cohort of what we hope will be many cohorts of training that will only get better and better to help build the housing we need across the state.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. Diane, did you have
I'm
anything else to
excited.
add? Did you have anything else to
Oh,
add?
no, I don't. I'm going to put the towns in here. I think we did send an announcement a couple of weeks ago, but if you haven't, it's really a nice mix across the state of different types of towns, different types of challenges. So I know they're going to really learn from each other. And, I think it's a great cohort. So let me put that in here.
Yeah, it sounds like a win-win. I mean, not only do you get funding, but you get to work with others at sort of your level and learn from each other. So it's like I
Mhm.
said, an amazing opportunity. So while Diane is doing that, and just in the interest of time, because I know a lot of people are on lunch, um, if you have additional questions, you can kind of get your questions ready. But we want to ask you, if you're not part of the cohort, if you could kind of demo the tool, just, and we really need your feedback so that way we could make additional tweaks to it to improve it for the next, once we open it for the general public, and this way that it's in the best shape that it can be. We would really appreciate that. And also to come by our booth. If you are coming to the governor's conference, we would love to see you and meet you, and continue to build these relationships. And we will open up the floor for questions if anyone has them. Are there no questions? Okay, well, we don't want to hold you. So if there are no questions, we thank you for your time, and because we know your time is valuable, and we appreciate your feedback on the tool. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.